Hello, everybody. My name is Winston. I am an upcoming junior at the University of Arkansas. My previous experience with something like this is very little. I don't have a lot of app building experience, but I do have, R, Python, Java, kind of data analysis experience. The only really big visualization experience I have is with Tableau. And for the future, um, I would really like to work in, sports analytics or something with a sports team. So that would be my main goal, kind of get the best of both worlds with my what I like to do in my experience. So going on with that, I'm going to show you guys my demo app. Let me share my screen. So I created an app that is an expense report app. So basically what that means is the user logs in and based on their role, they can either review or submit an expense. So if I were to take a client out to dinner, I would submit a receipt from my phone and then it would send off to an executive and they would be able to review it. So I'm going to show you guys this on my phone, and Anthony, Marla, Joel, if you guys want to do it as well, that would be great. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay. Can you guys see my screen, my phone?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to scan this and then go back. There we go. So if I took a client out to dinner, I would basically log in just like this with the username and password provided. And then it automatically takes my email, the date, and then I would select a category. So if I took them to dinner, it would be food and drink. Let's say $15. And then I can take a picture of that receipt. And then that would launch to an executive who would be working from a desktop version. So now I'm going to show you guys the desktop version. Let me share again. Can everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So once the desktop version is up and running, now I would be an executive or a reviewer. And you can see this receipt that I just uploaded earlier and the date. And then Joel and Anthony had also submitted one. A little Thai cuisine and a cat. So with that as well, oh, Marla submitted one as well. Big one, big team dinner. So the client would be able to review, or the executive would be able to review this and say, this is good or this is not. And so when they review this, they can either approve or deny based on what they can see. So I'm going to approve mine and say this looks good. And then that shoots off to an email form. Another good thing about my app is that you can download the image as well, not just view it in the same screen, but you can also download it down below. So we're gonna look and see if I got that email. And there it goes. Shoots off and says, lets them know kind of that their expense report was approved. So the next part of my training was to show off some smart templates. So a big thing about smart templates is that, it takes all the components of what you've made and you can use it in other places. So for this, I can show you guys how this can be used. So I have already the expense review and submit form. But if I wanted to, use the same login form that I already had from the previous app, I can go into my templates and I can generate this form. So what this does is it takes all the elements that I've already used and already created along with the processes and puts it in simultaneously and in real time. So that's a big thing and a huge, powerful component of this app. And I can also modify this and it makes it very configurable. So I can change the background color and make any really changes that I would like to. Expense report 2. And then I also made training for this whole application. This basically takes a brand new user who has had some training from the beginning. This might be a little more, I guess you could say, harder than usual, but with previous training, as you can see here, they can basically start from nothing and build a working app just like the one that I displayed and get their end result, which would be, an approval-based workflow app. So with that, I'm going to pass the torch to Marla.
Well done.
Great. I'm going to pass the torch on. So Anthony, you're up. We'll have questions at the end, everyone. So please do hold those questions for us. Go, Anthony.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anthony. I'm currently going into my senior year at UALR, University of Arkansas at Little Rock. My major is web design, and some background about me. I've had some experience with HTML and CSS. In the future, I really do want to pursue a visual design or even a UX or UI design career path. Yeah, with that, let's just get right into it. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
So my app is the bank lookup app. And so essentially users are able to add banks and also view banks, existing banks in a table format. And so this table actually is created through a spreadsheet or a data source. So once it's uploaded, you're able to create a table with this existing data. And when you click this eye icon, a list of information generates. And all of this information is within the spreadsheet and it's hidden until you click on this view icon. And through this form, you're actually able to update information and change different information that um, you think may need change. So click on the cancel will just take you back to the dashboard view. And this home icon will also take you back to the home dashboard view as well. And in the add new bank navigation, you can see that I already have this form filled out. And so essentially what happens is if you'd like to add a new bank to this existing table, you would fill out the information and then you would hit the submit button and it should generate at the bottom of the list. And just like before, clicking on the bottom or the view icon will generate the existing information. Then moving on to the contact page. This is a really unique email form actually. It's integrated using SendGrid, which is a platform where you can make email templates, just to make your emails look a little nicer or even more professional. So just for testing purposes, I'll send an email to myself and then we could put just hello world. And from this template select drop down, I'm able to select a template of choice. So let's just go with Chambers Bank. This is an existing template that I created on SendGrid. And so when I hit submit, the email should generate in my inbox. Let's see. As you can see here, this is the template that I created on SendGrid and integrated through my app. And if you have an existing template or a new template that you'd like to add, you would simply go to your SendGrid account and just go to, let's see. This is another one that I already have existing in my app, but like before, for testing purposes, I will show you how to add the template again. So I can do, let's say, do Encore for this new template name, and then the template ID, it can be found through this drop down arrow here. Just copy it, paste. When I hit submit and go to my contact page, all I have to do is give it a refresh, and it should be at the bottom. So this new template that I've created on SendGrid is now in my app. And just like Winston, I also have some smart templates to show you all. Just as mentioned before, you can basically use these different components of your apps, break them down, turn them into components. So for example, let's say I want to I want to reuse a navigation bar, just like this one in this app. Since I already saved it and created a component from that navigation bar, I would go to my Smart Templates icon on the top left, then go to My Templates. And as you can see, I have it here. So I select it and hit Generate. And as you can see, you can build or rebuild an app and also reuse the different components. And you're also able to style it as well. So changing the font setup, even the layout of different buttons and icons as well. Yeah, and for the next part of my demo, I also have a basic rundown of how the app is created for users with some experience as well. And so, as you can see, this spreadsheet here, like I mentioned before, is used to create the table. And the eye icon is actually in the back end, has a lot more going on than you'd think. In Leap, we have a building process called buses. And so you can connect data sources and also change the way that they appear and things like that. This showcases how to create a form, more form creation as well on this slide. And that is all for my part of the demo.
Thank you, Anthony. All right. Last but not least, Joel Williams.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joel. I'm an upcoming junior at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, majoring in data science. Coming into this internship, I really had no app development experience at all. I had experience in Python and R for data analysis and some data visualization purposes. But for my app, I worked with Barry Crane, the IT director at Axiom, and he requested that I make a ticket queue system with a dashboard to do some SLA analysis. And so let me go ahead and share my screen for everyone. So this app is intended for three primary users, the IT director, the department manager, and the ticket tech. So in the deployment version of the app, you wouldn't be able to see everything here for the tech. This is just for demo purposes. But logging in as the tech, you'll see this dashboard here with a table up here to keep track of the tickets that are assigned to you that are getting close to an SLA break for either the response time or resolution time. You can see there's a color-coded column to keep track of the priority there. And then there is a set of charts down here to see a breakdown of the ticket status, priority, urgency, and impact. And then all of this data can be refreshed to be only the open tickets, which there are currently none that are assigned to this user. But moving on from the tech dashboard, the tech has access to this ticket entry screen. I'll go ahead and fill out a quick ticket. And for the company dropdown, this is linked to a table in the database with all the companies in the system. And upon selecting a company, that gets all the locations linked to that company. Then we'll go up here and pick a category. You can see when you pick a category that autofills the impact and priority. And those are directly tied to the SLA response and resolution time limits. And we'll give this to the Hadoop assign group just because that's the group for this user. And then we select the urgency for ourselves. We'll just give this a quick test description. So we submit that, and then we can move over to the assignment screen. And this screen will show all of the tickets that are in the user's assignment group that haven't yet been assigned to a user. So you can click on one here, you get the ticket ID and the full description shown right here. And assign it to yourself, and then move to activity. You see a table that shows all tickets assigned to the user. You can filter this to only the open tickets. Click here to see the one that we just entered. You can click to get the ticket details, as well as enter some action or some work action on the ticket. Then we can click here on close ticket, which will submit to the database that the ticket has been resolved. And then we will hit submit there, which will, if we click back in, put it in the history table so we can see all the work that was done on the ticket. And then that is everything that the tech would have access to. So now we'll move on to the director dashboard. And here it's a similar table up top to what was in the tech dashboard, but there aren't the color-coded priority columns because the director or the department managers aren't generally expected to work a ticket themselves. But you can click on a ticket here to get the details, and this can be filtered between all tickets and open ones. Then moving down, we have a chart to keep track of the tickets processed and the SLA breaches for each month for the current year. And then moving down, there is a bar chart for the SLA breaches by assignment group and tickets processed by category. And down at the bottom, we have a year-to-date breakdown of some triage stats, including status, impact, priority, and urgency. And then this dashboard, if you're the director, you'll see this filter option up here, and we'll filter it to the DBA group. And by filtering this, we essentially get to see what the manager dashboard would be. So the DBA manager would see this view just without this filter up here. So you can see the data has been filtered to just tickets in the DBA assignment group. And the only major difference here is there's no longer the two bar charts for the SLA breaches and then the tickets processed by category. Instead, we have this block chart to show a visual representation of the tickets per category. And then the last portion of the app is this admin function over here. This would only be visible if you're logged in as the IT director. You can click here. You have a ticket record to see a table of all tickets that are in the system. This can be filtered to a specific assignment group or returned to the full data set. Then there is a form to add new assignment groups to the system, as well as view the existing ones. And the same for the techs and companies. Then with companies, whenever you add a new one to the system, you'll be routed to this locations tab, and you'll be asked to add the first location for the company. And then finally, there is an add user form in case you need to set up a new user in the system. And then that is everything for the full version of the app. So once that was done, I created a slightly simplified version of the app using a spreadsheet data source instead of a database, just to make it a little simpler for the purpose of turning it into smart templates. And you can see this here. This was already generated from the smart templates. I can show them here. You just click in a header and all the other portions of it and hit generate, and it'll automatically build everything here for you. And this smart template in particular is really powerful because the spreadsheet data source makes it highly configurable. You can see if you need to add a new tech to the system, you can just edit the spreadsheet. Same for companies, locations. If you want to change the assignment groups or categories or any other of the drop-down values, you can come and just directly edit the spreadsheet and that'll automatically populate. Then there's the stats sheet here where you can use just simple Excel formulas to track whatever statistics you might want to keep a look at. And then as you saw in Anthony and Winston's, you can change any colors that you might want to. You can change this to green, change the color scheme on a chart. And so once I had finished this version of the app and making the smart templates, I created a set of 3 training modules, which will give a step-by-step guide to build that full app. In this first part, it shows how to build the dashboard and the ticket entry form. Here, starting out, it's setting up the navigation, building charts. Here is auto-filling some data in the ticket entry form. And then part 2 shows how to build the self-assignment and the ticket details form. Can see here building the table and the assignment form, and then the details form. And then finally, the third part shows how to build the activity tracking. There's the table, 2 forms that have to be merged together, and the activity table. And then by the time you've completed all 3 of these modules, you'll have an app that is identical to this one with nearly all the same functionality as the full version of the app that I showed you before. And that is everything I have.
Thank you so much, Joel. Appreciate it. We'd really like to open up the floor for questions now, so please ask questions.
Yeah, we've got a question about well, let me back up. The demos were just superbly done. So congratulations to the developers. And Marla, LeapXL has taken a huge leap forward since the last time that I went through training, I guess, never mind how long ago. So that's also very impressive. So one of the questions I have is with the smart templates, does it have any notion of inheritance? So could I start with kind of, this is the root template for everything in this app, and over here is one for, what the page might look like for customers and internal, whatever. So you get kind of a tree-like structure in terms of the templates or not. I'm just wondering if we get template inheritance.
One of you interns want to take that one? You're welcome to.
I could take it. I would say yes, because my app, basically what a template is a bunch of different components. So my app has 3 different views. There's the login screen, submit, and review. And each view is made up of different components, and that view is one template. So I could save a component and add it to another view if I wanted to. So it really is a fast and easy way just to, like, if I wanted a header here and I wanted it to move just the same header to another view, I could save that and it would generate automatically. I don't know if
Okay,
that answered your question.
Well, yes, but that's, I think the answer then, as far as inheritance, any object-oriented language, maybe the answer is no. In that, what I'd like to be able to do is start with a sort of the root template, and so it's made up of a collection of components, and then some other template inherits all of those, and I can add some more and change and like that. And if we're not doing that, that'd be kind of a cool feature.
Well, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
And so, Casey, do you want to explain how that's done? Because we're doing that right now with these applications that these guys created. So we're exporting them to a different environment and then we are adding to them. So yes, you can do that. It doesn't automatically do it. You have to say, I want this to be a component. I want this to be a smart template. And you have to say, I want to export it to be able to add to it or change it. But you can. Lee, do you want to go? Lee or Carl?
It's gonna be Carl as a substitute for Lee, but yeah. So for really great demos, it's great to see the students make so much progress over the summer. Winston and Joel, well done. I don't know the third person very well, so but Anthony, that was well done too. I'd be interested in knowing what the 3 of you think are the transferable skills you learned from your internship this summer. Boston, Winston, you can go first.
So transferable, I would say a big thing is learning how to work with different types of software. All of them are different. There's all different user interfaces. I would say with Leap, there's certain bus processes that can get kind of confusing, especially the more complex the app gets. But learning how to build that knowledge over and over and over again and kind of use the past knowledge to make something even better. And also get a good experience working in like an actual job. A big step up for me. So
I have to ask, did you work on a team?
So we were all us 3 interns started training, and then we helped build like training modules, like the PowerPoints you see for different types of things that we wanted. The training only took 7 days.
Yeah, that's really good.
Pretty quick. And then I built that expense report app in about a matter of 2 weeks with some help from Ellison. But Yeah.
Very impressive. Yeah. And I appreciate that. There's nothing better than an internship. So great opportunity. So thank you. Well done on the demo too.
Appreciate it.
How about Joel?
Say there are a couple things for me. One of the big ones is like the app design and like app UI. Because coming into this, I had no idea what a user-friendly UI really was. Like when I was first starting to build this app, I had to go through quite a few iterations of how I did my UI. And I feel like that'll really help me if I'm building any like user-facing apps in the future, because I'll be able to implement what I learned here to just make a better looking program in the future. Then the other thing is like the application of data outside of analytics. Like in the data science program, we've primarily looked at analytics and visualization, but there hasn't been much focus on where the data comes from, how it gets generated, and sort of how the different pieces of data need to speak to each other, like in a database. And so I feel like I got a lot of valuable skills in that area.
Yeah, that's good. And I think that your demo was really awesome too. And Anthony, how about you?
As far as transferable skills, I'd say visual design, UI. In Leap, there's a lot of freedom to like style your different elements or components. Um, it's definitely a really familiar workspace for me. The drag and drop workspace. A lot of other softwares have that as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, yours demo was great too. All
Thank
of
you.
them. Yeah. Do you have any questions? No.
Any other questions?
How much automatic help did you get in generating the training modules? And I'm just curious.
Well, before they jump in there, I'll give you a little bit of background information here. So after they did their week of training, then we had the retreat. Then what they did for the next week or two is they actually updated our training module, because as you referred to, Al, you've seen some changes. We just had a release of version 4.0. So there's a lot of changes in the platform that they were working from that was based on the training materials that were older, like a year old. So they went in and they updated all of the training with new screen caps from the new version 4.0, and also other changes. And then they use those templates. They're just templates for our training, and they created their own training, and with no help from me or anybody else, really, I don't think that they can answer that part. I will say one more thing, and then I'll let them jump in on this, though, that, what they did is while they were building, if they ran into, and I know if they ran into a skill they didn't have that wasn't in the original training, they would just have a session with Brian, with Ellison, with somebody else on the team who would walk them through that thing. And then they would go and then build that into their application. And then they also built that into their training modules.
Yeah, so I would say there was always someone that I could reach out to that would help if I needed it. Building the training was pretty easy because we kind of took a week to go through it, and we had already, if we had any questions, we could reach out to Brian. Brian did the whole week session. And then when I was building my app, like I said, I would mention, hey, Ellison, could you help me with this? And it would, take around 30 minutes for him to show me how to do it, and then I would implement it.
We got one more question from, which was a direct message to me for the students, which is like, what do you feel would be an improvement that you could envision for the platform or for training?
One thing I would say is, the platform is designed to be easy to pick up for somebody who's got no programming experience. And I think something like the API integration system, like if you don't know SQL, you're probably going to have a little bit of a rough time like integrating a database through the API system. So I feel like maybe some feature in the platform that could auto-generate that SQL if you could link it to the database itself. I feel like that could be a really useful feature for users that just aren't experienced with that kind of platform.
I made a note. All right, any final questions or comments?
Sounds like they've proven out the point that you can do this with low or no code, huh? And minimal training with good results. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a very great experience for us. Yeah, it's been really, really good. They really put us through some ringers, all of them building their apps at the same time. Yeah, making sure that the platform could move speedily while they were all working. And so, so we have made some improvements because of them, and also, some clarifications. So we're already on our way. They've been very positive. They've had a very positive impact on our company. We're really grateful they worked with us this summer.
That's really good to hear. Thank you for sharing that too. And
That's great.
yeah, I'll appreciate, I know UALR does too, appreciate you giving our students an opportunity to work with you.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you so much for having such great students. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate both of the universities. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining.
I was going to joke. I think our role is to make sure that these bright people that come into the program, that we don't mess them up too bad.
That's a good. Good job, Albert. All right. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.